You ever see a grown woman cannonball into a pool, clutching a martini like it's the Olympic torch, wearing that grin people get when they think they own the whole block? And then, before she even hits the water, it's like the universe decides to humble her. That's how my weekend kicked off. Paige, midair, blissfully unaware. 1 second she's airborne. The next she's hit the water and comes up screaming like she just landed on a live wire. Arms flailing, water flying, and the whole neighborhood frozen in horror. Kids burst into tears. Parents tripped over folding chairs trying to grab them. One poor guy slipped on the wet grass and crashed straight into my garden gnome, shattering it. The DJ panicked, scrambling to unplug his speakers before they fried. And me? I wasn't even out of my car yet. My phone buzzed with motion alert from my backyard camera. I opened it, expecting maybe a raccoon at the trash bins, and instead I'm staring at a scene that looks like spring break collided with a natural disaster. My pool, packed with screaming people, pool toys flying, guests bolting for the gate like they'd just seen a shark. I just sat there for a second, stunned. Let me rewind a little. I'm not exactly the neighborhood grump. I'm no killjoy, but my pool isn't some community water park. I'm a marine biologist, and I'd gotten special permission from the HOA to test an experimental eel deterrent gel, totally safe under normal conditions. But mix it with chlorinated water and human skin, it gives this weird prickly sensation, not dangerous, just wildly uncomfortable, like you're swimming through a field of tiny static shocks. The kind of thing that would make any electric eel think twice. I did everything by the book. Put up big, clear warning signs. Lock the gate. Let the HOA president and my research team know. Figured, what could possibly go wrong? What could go wrong was named Paige. The kind of neighbor who treats every flower bed, mailbox, and lawn within a mile as her personal canvas. The one who thinks the HOA exists to support her vision, and who borrows tools like she's running a hardware store, never to return them. And while I was out of town at a marine biology conference, Paige decided my private backyard would be just perfect for her annual Unity Splash party. She snapped my caution tape, used bolt cutters to pop the lock, and turned my yard into a carnival. Tents, buffet tables, coolers, a kid blasting 80s hits on a Bluetooth speaker. She even told folks she'd made arrangements with a friend. Spoiler alert, that friend wasn't me. So there she was, diving into my pool like she just christened it, and the minute that eel gel hit her skin, the show began. She started shrieking, thrashing like she'd touched a live wire, and tried to scramble out, only to drag 2 other poor souls in with her. The scene was pure chaos. Some guy in neon swim trunks tried to make a break for it, slipped on a puddle, and sent a whole cooler of wine coolers flying. Another guest stumbled straight into my petunia bed, flattening it. And the whole time, Paige is shrieking about how she's melting, like she's a wicked witch of the West. I came to the gate, phone in hand, hitting record because, honestly, who would believe this otherwise? Paige spotted me. Her hair plastered her face, mascara streaking, and bellowed, "What did you do?" "Why would you do this?" I kept my voice as calm as I could. "Paige, this is an active research pool. The signage was there for a reason. Right now you're standing in a compound designed to discourage electric eels. Unless you're planning on becoming one, I'd recommend getting out." She stormed out of the water, dripping, muttering about lawsuits and nerve damage, while her guests stumbled after her, rubbing their arms, looking like they'd been dunked in icy shampoo. Some of them mumbled apologies. One guy leaned over, his hair sticking up in wild spikes, and whispered, "That was the worst pool I've ever been in. What was that stuff?" All I said was, "Science, man." By the time they all cleared out, my yard looked like a science experiment had collided with a tailgate party. Trash everywhere. Flamingo pool floats capsized. Broken sunglasses bobbing in the deep end. I spent hours draining the pool, snapping photos, documenting the mess, and filing a full report with the HOA, local authorities, the whole 9 yards. Security cam footage, bolt cutters, Paige snapping my caution tape. All of it. And here's the kicker. When the HOA board watched the footage, when they saw Paige breaking in, tearing down the signs, it was like they finally got it. One of the board members texted me, "Asterisk, this is gold. Can I show this at the next meeting?" Asterisk the group chat lit up like a bonfire. Someone even nicknamed it Poolgate. And for a moment, I thought, asterisk, that's it. Justice served. Maybe this will finally shut her down. Asterisk. But no, Paige wasn't done. She went full crusade. Started going door to door, handing out flyers claiming I'd filled the pool with illegal chemicals. Made up names like Neuroskinex and amphibian acid. Warning about chronic skin reversal. Whatever that's supposed to mean. She cropped photos for social media to make my yard look like a sci-fi disaster zone, leaving out the tiny detail where she broke in and trespassed. Some neighbors bought into it for a minute, but most just shook their heads. My favorite response was from Mrs. Grady, retired chemistry teacher, who handed me one of Paige's flyers and said, "This woman doesn't know sodium from salt." And that's the story of how science stubbornness and one rogue neighbor turned my quiet backyard into the wildest party and cautionary tale the neighborhood's ever seen. Then came the city inspectors. Someone, asterisk G, wonder who asterisk, anonymously reported my property for storing hazardous chemicals. I watched them walk up, clipboards in hand, probably expecting to find some mad scientist lair. But here's the twist. One of the inspectors had actually attended my eel deterrent symposium in Dallas. The guy took one look at my setup, grinned, shook my hand, and said, "Some people must watch too many horror movies." Paige was watching too, spying from behind her curtains, phone up, filming the whole thing like she was uncovering some grand conspiracy. But when the inspectors left with nothing but a thumbs up and a friendly laugh, I swear you could see her sink behind the blinds like a deflated balloon. But quitting? That wasn't in Paige's playbook. She regrouped and launched a Facebook group she called Clean Streets, Safe Pools, a digital shrine to drama. It was filled with grainy, zoomed-in photos of jellyfish, blurry screenshots of my pool, and long-winded rants about the toxic horror lurking in my backyard. Some neighbors joined just for the show, while others clapped back. My favorite comment was from a guy who wrote, asterisk, pretty sure I saw Godzilla back there too. Asterisk, but I'll admit, after a while it started getting under my skin. I wasn't about to let fiction win over fact. So I decided to flip the script. I planned an event, a backyard science night, myth versus science, open invite, snacks, hands-on demos. I even brought in some colleagues, local researchers, folks who could break it down in plain English. We set up tables, whiteboards, and wrote out every one of Paige's wilder claims. Right next to each, a clear, simple debunking backed by the science. The whole neighborhood came out, curious, laughing, some just eager for free chips and lemonade. And of course, in she came. Paige, wearing a floppy hat, giant sunglasses, and a scarf like she was on her way to the Kentucky Derby. Phone recording as she loudly warned everyone about propaganda brainwashing. I kept my cool, demonstrated how the gel worked. Let kids touch the harmless samples. Showed them exactly how and why it couldn't hurt anyone. Paige, though, she stood there, waving her crumpled flyers like they were court orders. "You may have fooled them," she hissed, "but I know the truth." And that's when one of the teens muttered, "That sounds like a Harry Potter spell." The crowd burst into laughter, and for the first time, Paige didn't have a comeback. She turned beet red and stormed off again, leaving everyone else behind, asking real questions, helping clean up, and even suggested we make science night a regular thing. And just when I thought we'd finally reached the end of the saga, the real kicker came. One night, my security camera caught Paige's son and two of his buddies sneaking into my yard with gallons of bleach. The plan? Dump it into the pool. I flipped on the floodlights, so bright it looked like daylight, got the whole thing on video, and called the police. The next morning, Paige was out front, shouting that I'd traumatized her son, that I was the danger, that I was endangering children. I stepped outside, calm as can be, the police report in hand. "You want to talk about danger?" I said, "Tried trespassing, vandalism, and tampering with a research site." For the first time, she was silent. Not a word. You'd think that would have been the end of it, but no. Paige went full nuclear. She started petitions, tagged the mayor in dramatic social media posts, even photoshopped my house with lightning bolts, calling me the suburban scientist from hell. Most neighbors ignored her. A few sent me screenshots, laughing. But that was the last straw for the HOA. The president, Frank, called an emergency board meeting, mandatory attendance. The place was packed. People standing along the walls. The tension so thick you could feel it. Paige strutted in late, arms full of folders, as if paperwork could save her. But the board was ready. They laid out everything. Video of her breaking in, the bleach stunt, the flyers, the trespassing, the sabotage. Every ugly bit of it. Paige tried to talk her way out, claiming she thought consent was implied. The room fell silent. No one bought it. When the vote came down, it was swift. Stripped of all HOA privileges, fined for damages, banned from hosting any future events. The final chapter? Paige moved out within a month. Her once manicured yard went wild. The curtains stayed drawn. The car vanished from the driveway. And just like that, the storm was over. Neighbors stopped by, dropping off cookies, cracking jokes about the pool that bites. I even put up a new sign by the gate, warning, "This pool bites, life settled back into peace." But even now, sometimes when folks walk past, you'll hear a whisper, "Asterisk, that's where Paige got dunked by science." Asterisk, and I can't help but laugh. It's funny, isn't it? All that chaos, all that drama, just to teach one simple lesson. Don't mess with science. And definitely don't mess with someone else's boundaries. So tell me, what would you do if your neighbor tried to turn your backyard into a circus? Ever seen an HOA feud go off the rails like this? Drop your wildest story. Let's see whose neighborhood takes the cake. And hey, hit like, share, and let me know, who do you think was in the right? Because around here, sometimes the pool bites back.